Could you give an example of some statement from the Book of Mormon that is false and has been obfuscated by the church? Sure. The Book of Mormon claims that the golden plates that it was translated from were written in a language called Reformed Egyptian. However, there is no corroboration of there being a language called Reformed Egyptian. There aren't any other documents, nor is there any given time period where such a language would ever be written or used by any type of people. According to the Pearl of Great Price, in 1828, Joseph Smith transcribed the golden plates and handed a transcript to Martin Harris, one of the three witnesses. Martin Harris then goes to meet with Charles Anthon, a scholar from Columbia. Anthon sees the transcript, and then he endorses it as being Reformed Egyptian, as well as other languages too. He writes a written endorsement. However, when hearing that an angel of the Lord revealed the golden plates to Joseph Smith, he then rips it up, and therefore the endorsement can't be found. That is the official LDS depiction of how that interaction went. However, Charles Anthon himself disagrees with this. Charles Anthon gave three accounts of his meeting with Martin Harris. One in 1834, where he claimed that he did not believe that the transcript was authentic and that he did not provide a written opinion. One in 1841, where he claimed that he did provide a written opinion. However, again, he did not believe that the writing was authentic. And again in 1844, claiming that he did not believe it was authentic, saying here, "I told the man at once that he was imposed upon and that the writing was mere trash." In the Book of Mormon, it describes multiple groups that arrive in ancient America. These groups are known as the Jaredites, Lamanites, Nephites, Mulekites, and also the people of Alma. However, it describes groups such as the Lamanites, Nephites, and Mulekites having arrived from Jerusalem around 600 BC, and there's no archaeological evidence for this. The Jaredites in the Book of Ether are described as being as many as 2 million in population, and there's no archaeological evidence for that either. I want you to consider this for reference. In the city of Çatalhöyük in Turkey, which existed from around 7500 BC to 5000 BC, it had a population of, at most, maybe 8,000, most likely probably 600 to 1,000. We have about 20,000 artifacts from that city in Turkey. We don't have anything like that. In Scripture Central, one of the LDS-run sites, it claims that the Nephites loved to write documents on metal, hence the golden plates. We don't have any archaeological evidence of there being metal plates or artifacts or fragments left behind. There should be plenty if these societies existed in the first place. Another glaring issue in the historicity of the Book of Mormon is its depiction of domesticated animal species that would not have existed in North nor South America at the time it was being written. For example, horses. Horses were not introduced into the Americas until the arrival of Spanish settlers in the 15th and 16th century. Yet, Jaredites and Nephites are depicted as having horses that they use for battle or travel, and that's just not historically accurate, and there's no real way that you can reconcile this. You can't claim that they actually meant, llamas or tapirs as opposed to horses. These are just a few examples. However, the Book of Mormon is quite clear in its usage of the phrase, "and it came to pass," that it is not depicting these as metaphors nor allegories. It is genuinely writing these down as historical record, yet there isn't any archaeological evidence for it.